Hi, welcome to my review and episode ranking of An Idiot Abroad Series 2. So yes, we are back once again ready to discuss Karl Pilkington on the channel. This time around, Idiot Abroad Series 2, The Bucket List from 2011. So yes, this one I look forward to discussing, of course. There will be a spoiler warning once again for this video. If you haven't seen the series of the show, of course, I recommend seeing it first and then coming back to this video. We can go from there because I will be getting into the plot, kind of details of particular episodes and discussing different events that have happened in this series and breaking them down. So I wouldn't want to kind of ruin the show for you, before you've seen it. So I'd recommend seeing this and obviously Series 1 as well and checking out the videos after you've seen them instead of beforehand. So with all that said, let's discuss my thoughts on this series and what a series it is. This is absolutely legendary TV, straight in there. I truly love this series. This is hilarious from start to finish. Absolutely amazing once again. Karl was back, Ricky and Steve, of course, behind this, and it's a bit of a different flavour. You could say, obviously being the bucket list, the ultimate bucket list. It's not necessarily Karl's bucket list, but he's choosing different scenarios, things to tick off, and then go and do. And it really is. It's nice to see something very different. But yes, I just turned 15 when this was airing, and the build-up to this was unbelievable. First of all, I did not think really at all that we'd get, when I was watching Series 1, a sequel to this. And obviously we did have Series 3, and we had the Moaning of Life, etc. So Karl became, a household name, really, and he's blown up over the world over the years as well. People, watching, his stuff, and, I just didn't think, we'd get, another series that he'd agreed to do this, and Ricky and Steve as well would be behind this, and, creating this, the ideas and stuff, and it would be, basically another kind of Series 1 where it would be 8 episodes, the same length, and it would be Karl just as funny, as he was, and all the scenarios around him. So it was really a dream come true, and this being a very different series, but also very similar as well at the same time. We have a different variety of locations, more extreme scenarios, you could say the climate, etc., and just bigger scale stuff that Karl was involved in. Of course, the plane ride, we cannot kind of pass that by, obviously on the intro. It's absolutely hilarious, and probably the biggest thing that Karl's ever done in terms of the scale. The fact that he did agree to do this, and we got that, to watch on TV, and just to see this over and over again, it really is unbelievable. And moments like this that is, larger scale than Series 1. More variety, as I say, in the locations and stuff, and being the bucket list, it is a bit of a different kind of a concept. It's not just Karl going around to kind of see, for example, the wonders of the world. So it is very different, but it is a similar flavour. Ricky and Steve, it's still that grounded nature, but it is a bit more kind of extreme, and you could say over the top compared to Series 1. It's not as raw and gritty, but I absolutely love this series so much. This is TV gold, absolutely. Once again, one of my favourite shows of all time. This and Series 1, wow, just both of them so funny, and I think from the desert island all the way through Mount Fuji, this is something that is just unforgettable. And I think obviously once again Karl comes home in episode 8, and we go over different things that have happened, and I love the kind of running gags throughout this. For example, the prostate exam that does eventually, as we know, come true, on that episode 8, and it does actually happen. So I love the kind of once again consistency, and the way that Ricky and Steve are kind of interjecting, and these things that have been set in there to kind of run throughout the series for the viewers, and then kind of culminating in the end. I thought it was brilliant. And just like Series 1, I really love the way this is produced, the way it's kind of directed, produced, edited. I loved Vic Sharma once again doing the score. I think it's so wacky at times, but also really epic in places, and I just love the way this is done. I think just the way it's produced, it is something else. It really is. My hats off Steve and Ricky. They allowed it to be once again kind of this raw, kind of Karl left to his own devices, not too much interruptions, but in the right places. Ricky and Steve will interject the phone calls, etc. And I think just the way they kind of he reports back to them at times, it's just right. It's not too much, and I think from start to finish, it really is absolutely hilarious, and just it really is edited so well. The flow of the series, for the most part, is just flawless. I think just each episode, is very unique. I really do like that. Series, episode 1 is very you could say similar location to Peru, you know, what's going on there in the jungle and stuff, to the desert island. But it is different as well, and it's a different concept, and it's different in the way, you know, Karl meets different characters as well. So it's got that variety, but it's got the familiar feeling, you know, of series one, which I love. You know, I think it is more produced, you know, in certain ways, obviously, than series one, but it's not too much. It's not, you know, too over the top, this one at all, and it's quite remarkable that, you know, Stephen Ricky, once again, and everyone involved, they got this so right, you know, the way this very grounded, you know, Karl is kind of left to his own devices, as I say, you know, kind of unfiltered, raw, you know, kind of feeling, but, you know, we do have the kind of, the way this is a bit more larger scale, so it's a bit different to series one, something we haven't quite seen in different episodes in particular, so yes, you know, I thought, when I was watching this, I was absolutely loving it, and I think particularly when we got to the kind of, you know, past the first few episodes, you know, that's when it really rocketed up, you know, for me, and I was just, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and so lucky that we got, you know, these moments, you know, we can watch them forever, of course, and Karl was just doing things that he didn't do in series one, and as I say, a bit more angry at times than he was in series one, but he is also laughing a bit more at times, you know, in this one, which is quite bizarre to see as well, so absolutely love this, as you can tell, from start to finish. Once again, just like series one, one of my absolute favourite series of at least comedy, that's for sure. You know, in TV history. You know, as I've said before, I'm not seeing, you know, hundreds of shows. You know, I don't watch TV left, right, and centre. Of course, I do prefer films. You know, that's more of my time. What I spend in that sense watching films. But I have seen quite a few TV series as well. Some, you know, really great TV, and once again, this, just like series one, is one of my favourites. You know, what can I say? Karl is just perfect in this. Ricky and Steve, you know, it really is. It's so great. Obviously, Steve was not around for series three with Warwick Davis, but he did obviously once again return for this one, and you know, it really is. It's so essential. You know, the three of them together at times. It really does make this more special, and you know, I just love this from start to finish. Once again, this series is absolutely stunning. You know, just what can I say? Laugh out loud, charming, of course. Once again, it's uplifting. You know, Karl kind of, even though it's not, you know, the kind of same sense of wonder and you know, kind of Karl going off for the first time. You know, the kind of adventure feel of the first series. It is once again, you know, each episode Karl's going on a journey, and by the end of it, he has gone on more of a, once again, this kind of, you could say, spiritual, you know, enlightenment journey, and it's just, what a way to end it as well, you know, Mount Fuji, you know, for our viewing, you know, on that 7th episode, and then, you know, going back, touching base on episode 8, once again, the format is just right, and the structure of this, so yes, what can I say? Absolutely love this. So now we have the episode ranking, of course, which I look forward to doing, and, you know, I think this time round, you know, I do love all these episodes, but the bottom two, perhaps, you know, there's a bit more of a gap, you know, because a significant gap, of course, between the bottom two and the rest of the episodes, just in my personal opinion, and you know, compared to series one was a bit more specifically consistently, you know, kind of they are, you know, throughout the series, there was a bit more of that consistency there. So series two is a bit more of a gap in between the bottom two and the rest of the, you know, series, but you know, obviously has such high as this one, so yes, it's very interesting to kind of note that. But yes, first of all, at the bottom, again, do love this episode, but we have episode 2, Trans-Siberian Express. So you know, this one, you know, I do love this once again. You know, Karl's hilarious as always, and we have the, you know, the Russian taxi driver there, which is really, really funny. But you know, I think in general that's the thing. Overall, the characters or the people he meets, it's just not as funny. You know, I think generally as well, the atmosphere is a bit more depressing. You could say it's a bit grim and, you know, kind of downbeat, and it's just, you know, throughout there's just a feeling, you know, that I didn't really, you know, and compared to, you know, the rest of the series, it's just not as, you know, kind of charming and, you know, kind of nice feeling. Really, it's a bit more grim and, you know, kind of depressing. And obviously, it's great to see him go on the Trans-Siberian Express. But you know, it's just more of a, compared to the rest of the series and the other episodes, it's not as funny. It's not, you know, as charming. The characters don't really, or the people he meets don't really match up to the rest of the series. Even the next one, you know, in the ranking, and just, you know, it is really, really funny. Of course, it's hilarious stuff, but it isn't quite, you know, the classic, you know, Karl Pilkington, Idiot Broad kind of standard that the rest of the series is, particularly as well after the next one in the ranking. That's when it really is, once again, classic Idiot Broad. But these bottom two episodes, particularly this one, just don't really compare to the rest of the series. If it had been in another show, obviously this would be, you know, standout material, but it is just in comparison, as I say. So yes, That was at number 8, episode 2. And so at number 7 we have episode 3, Swim with Dolphins. Now this one just a bit more pleasant, I think, more upbeat. I think that the people that Karl meets, along the way, it's just more enjoyable, more interesting. It's a bit more, something to kind of, be interested in what they're saying and stuff, and just, it's more pleasant. It's more of a kind of, funny episode for me personally than episode 2, and of course, Swim with Dolphins. The title is not what actually happens. In the end, Karl, they replace, the dolphins with shark, and obviously Karl's put in the shark cage. Really hilarious moment there. It's very unexpected. A very kind of, when I first saw this, I didn't really think it would go in that direction, but it did, and absolutely hilarious. And I think the boxing as well, the blind boxing, the monkeys taking Karl's stuff, and his reactions to the monkeys is kind of really in an odd way a callback to Monkey News, and Karl is actually off the XFM kind of showing stuff, the Ricky Gervais show. Kind of it is a callback in the sense that Karl is actually now interacting face to face with the monkeys, and we're kind of watching this, and it is just his interactions, the way he kind of views them is very similar to Monkey News. So that's kind of really amazing if you've seen those shows and listened to them and the podcasts, and it's just. Really, it's just a bit more kind of enjoyable, consistently funny, and different individuals that Karl meets. I found really nice characters in this, and just ones that I enjoyed the interactions with Karl a lot more in this one than episode 2, and the bit where Karl's getting makeup on as well. Really really funny stuff. So yes, that was at number 7, episode 3, and at number 6 we have Karl Comes Home, episode 8. So yes, once again, just like series 1, it's hard to kind of put this higher because it isn't a true kind of idiot broad episode. It is more them talking, recapping a bit, and it is obviously absolutely hilarious. You have Ricky, Steve, and Karl once again, priceless stuff in a room. They're talking about different stuff that's happened, and different scenarios as well. Things culminate in this one quite a bit because we have finally the prostate exam actually take place. When I first saw this, I thought this is actually happening, and it was really so funny when Ricky and Steve go into the other room and they're kind of listening in on this and watching Karl get this examination as well. Frank is just really hilarious there, and just the way he kind of talks to Karl and stuff, priceless stuff. And of course the Pilko pump pants as well in this, the way he kind of shows this off. It's very wacky, of course, when he's on the kind of on the show there, kind of trying to sell them, but it is so funny, and it's still very grounded as well, and just once again, definitely better than some of the episodes in the series, and it is that good that it is actually better than some of the true episodes of the series, but it doesn't quite because it isn't as well one of the true episodes get higher in the series, and there's just so many episodes that just seeing Karl go out and about, experiencing the bucket list in that sense, that are just funnier than this, and more grand, and just more funny than this, more hilarious from start to finish. And again, this is so funny, this one, but it doesn't quite kind of top some of the main bulk of this series, of the proper episodes of this one. So yes, absolutely love this. And at number 6, that was episode 8. So at number 5 we have episode 1, Desert Island. So yes, this once again it's a very consistently funny episode. Of course, it's more of a kind of a nice one to watch, kind of a peaceful one. First time I saw it, I was a bit kind of I was thinking, well, that's a bit surprising. They're kind of doing, as I say, a similar episode in the location and stuff to episode 7 of series 1, of course, which was the final proper episode of that one. So other than that, kind of getting over that, and kind of over the years, I think it has grown on me more and more, and it is hilarious, of course. Once again, I really love the way that Karl kind of interacts with the tribes, and just I think the land diving in this was probably the funniest moment of the episode. Wow, Karl originally going to be going quite high up, you'd think, and of course he does about 4 foot off the ground, and it kind of, it probably is even more painful in that sense, because just the way he thuds down, smacks his head on the ground there. It's just absolutely hilarious. With the build up and everyone cheering him the first time I saw it, I think it's just going to be him sort of just jumping onto the ground. There's nothing's going to happen, but he did take quite a hit there. That was absolutely hilarious, and as well just the tribe that kind of worships Prince Philip. That whole kind of sequence, that was really really nice. I think it was just more of a Yeah, an uplifting episode. It was really nice to see the interactions, really human, warm moments. And it's obviously consistently really, really funny as well, hilarious stuff. Particularly the land diving and when Karl as well is putting up, the kind of the structure there for them to sleep and making his own kind of hut there. That was really hilarious, and the use of music in this one is really just quite magical as well. So it's the way it's produced is really something else, and I think consistently hilarious. So now the top 4 episodes of this, I think there's definitely a big jump, and this next one for me perhaps is the most kind of peaceful, kind of tranquil and calming episode I think of the entire series, and that is of course episode 7, Climb Mount Fuji. So this one, what can I say? When I first saw this as well, it's just really nice way to end this, the main bulk of the episodes on, and just seeing, I love Japan, and seeing Karl in Japan, it was just priceless, and just interactions once again with different characters. This was a real, kind of highlight, and real standout kind of batch of people he meets, and we've got the sumo wrestling, which is absolutely hilarious. Of course, the fermented sushi, the 3 years, kind of fermented sushi. This was something else, just to see Karl's reaction, kind of similar to different moments in series 1 when he's eating different stuff, and that was just so funny. First time I saw this, and we do have just Karl kind of gagging on this, and the guy as well that Karl meets there, it seems like he's not really wanting to eat this. He says he's only eaten it once, and then he kind of tries to twist it to Karl. He's saying, well, if Karl's the guest, he eats first, then it's clear that none of them want to eat this, and certainly the guy does not really want to eat this before Karl, and it's just absolutely hilarious, him laughing at Karl when he's trying to eat this, and just again one of the standouts. Also the Zen Buddhist monk as well. I loved that moment when they're kind of doing this stuff, and just the kind of meditation, and Karl as well getting kind of hit. It was all hilarious, and interactions with him and Karl, another standout character. So as I say, different people he meets, definitely a cut above the ones below this, on the ranking, and also the ending. What can I say? The ending when he actually climbs Mount Fuji, it's just really impressive that Karl actually done this, and it's quite inspiring the way it ends, and it's more this nice feeling you get, the kind of spiritual experience. The way it ends on that, I think, is perfect. The perfect way to end the main bulk of the episodes here. So yes, love that, and just the way that kind of Karl's walking off there, and kind of talking about his invention as well, and just the view, and all this, and the way the music really amps up here, and it's just a very, kind of, I think it's kind of a touching moment when we see it being the final, moments with Karl, and the last sort of, things he says, and just before, walking there, he says, just nothing is perfect. You've got the best view ever there, and of course the clouds and all this on the horizon, and but then you've got this kind of digger, in the background, just randomly there, and just the way the camera pans, to that, absolutely hilarious. Just laugh out loud moments there. So yes, it's a mixture of funny moments, of course, consistently funny, real gut wrenching moments, just interactions that I find really interesting and memorable, and as well, kind of this uplifting, kind of an epic, quite awe-inspiring way it ends, the main bulk of the series on. So yes, that was at number 4, Climb Mount Fuji, and that was one that I do really love. So now we have the top 3, and to be quite honest, I think there's a massive jump up now from the previous ones to these top 3. All 3 are absolutely legendary episodes of the show, and just of TV in general. Absolutely hilarious from start to finish. The way they're done, produced. I think the interjection from Ricky as well throughout these 3 ones at its best, and just Karl, it's in these situations where it's just even more funny, and just charming, and kind of epic as well. This is really the show at its best, this series of the series, and I think episode 4, 5, and 6 all being in a row, as we can tell. The ones that are remaining. This was the best point of the show when I was watching this for the first time. This series, of course, I was thinking, wow, we're really getting picking up now, and this is just episode after episode of just the best stuff of this series. So at number 3 we have episode 5, Meet a Gorilla. This one is hilarious. Seeing, of course, the kind of at first, kind of Karl building the huts and all this, and then the whole kind of thing that's set up between Ricky and Karl, and kind of he's trying to one up him and all this, and saying 5 huts and all this, and then Karl, he kind of makes out to Ricky that he has actually done the bungee jump, and it's actually it turns out it was Luke, the director, who went down. And we do see that at the end of the episode as well. You know, him going down and screaming and swearing. Absolutely hilarious. And Karl thought, you know, he said, you know, when the hat came off, you could tell that was it. You know, obviously Luke was not bald like Karl. Ricky says it's kind of one of the dumbest criminals kind of thing, and it's just the way that it's done was so funny. And of course, the big event, you know, of this was the trek. Karl goes on, and just the individuals, you know, he meets along the way. It's just so funny, and obviously, I think one of the funniest moments is when, you know, Karl says, you know, kind of questions the kind of guide on, you know, how the gorillas have gone back to where we started, and the guy you just see his head, and he just sort of says yes, and it's just the way it's done. It's just one of the funniest moments of the entire show, and just every time I see that, you know, just sometimes rewind it. It's so funny. Just the way that the guy was as well, just very convinced that it was fine and that had happened. And Karl was so annoyed. He's now to go back, and it was just hours and hours of trekking. And finally, when he meets the gorillas, it's so funny. You know, the way his comments on the gorillas, and you know, the way that Karl is kind of interacting. It's just what a legendary episode this one. So many things that happened throughout, and obviously the main event, you know, the actual trek and seeing the gorillas and the aftermath, seeing the hippo as well in this one. It's just all so good, and you know, just really is just a priceless episode. You know, I think it's just funny, you know, hilarious from start to finish. This one, so yes, one of the best episodes of the series. But didn't quite get into the top two. The next two, once again, a little bit more of a jump here, and obviously we have 4 and 6 remaining. What would I put at number 1? You know, I think both of these are just, you know, so great and stand out and iconic, and really define the series. You know, what is so great about this one, the grand nature of this, the extreme nature, and just different characters that once again that Karl's meeting, and just, you know, hilarious things that Karl does and says. And so at number 2 we have episode 6, Route 66. So yes, this one, obviously a very popular episode. You know, it's really probably the most iconic moment it has in it, with the plane right at the end, you know, when Karl's on the plane, and it's used obviously in the intro and all this, and it just obviously it's very close at times to the number 1 spot for me, but you know, this one from start to finish, what can I say, it's just one of the funniest things I've ever seen. You know, every single individual that Karl meets, you know, even just the monster truck moment there, and Karl's just shouting Ronnie over the engine there, and he's driving just you know, just a little bit, but driving along, and yeah, stopping the monster truck there. It's so funny. You know, Karl saying, you know, Jamie, it's not even got a seat, and then Ronnie going off, and Karl, you know, shouting his name. You can just hear him shouting so loud over the engine, and one of the funniest moments, of course. And the cuddle party. You've just got so many moments, of course, when he meets that guy and they're blowing up different objects there as well. You know, they kind of use the dynamite, and you know, just when Karl first shoots, he says it's going to be loud. The guy says no, it's not going to be loud, and then just shoots, and then Karl says, you know, it was loud, and it nearly deafened him. It's just so funny, and I think, you know, just that guy, you know, they're really just a highly memorable you know, character there. And obviously as well when they go in the caves, and the bats come out, and Karl just swears at him, and just I think the camaraderie between him and that character was that individual was really one of the best, you know, in the entire series. And we have really scene after scene of this just charm, this hilarious stuff, and the epic nature of this one, saving the best moment for last, really, and that is, of course, the plane ride, and just the way this is put together as well. You know, we have the 2 options there, and you know, Karl going to the club there, and you see him amongst the crowd, and then the music, and just kind of transitioning to, of course, the Blue Danube, you know, playing, and to the plane ride there, and that is just one of the legendary moments. The cutting there, just really something else. And the fact that Karl, you know, kind of with ease really got onto the plane though from the passenger seat. You know, he got onto the wing, and you know, I was thinking when I first saw this, this will be surely there won't, you know, this won't go too wrong. But then for some reason, you know, Karl, it just even though he does this quite confidently, then, you know, that's it. You know, just when they do the loops, you know, this is wow. You know, the barrel rolls. One of the funniest things I've ever seen personally is just Karl's screams here. For some reason, he pokes his tongue out, and just does these odd things, and you know, just swearing, and the final moment with the final loop. wow. Obviously, at the moment it is actually on the intro there for the series, and this is just one of the funniest things I've ever seen. The Karl swearing there, and just ending on that moment there as well. That's the cut to the credits. This this episode couldn't have been any better than it was. This is just absolutely flawless television. So number one, we have quite an unexpected one, of course. A lot of people would not necessarily put this above Route 66, but for me, it's always been these two episodes that have been my favourites, and I think this one in particular, this is the one that's always been the most special to me, and for me, the most funny from start to finish, and that is, of course, episode 4, whale watching. This is truly legendary TV. This is just the memory attached that I have as well. I come back from a family member's house, staying over the previous night, and I was walking back to my house, and I think the build up had been great, and I thought I have to record this. Unfortunately, I couldn't see this on the night, but previous kind of afternoon, I was walking back, rushing back to my house up the hill, and just couldn't wait to see this. Got in, got a cup of tea, sat down to see this, and it was just one of the most memorable episodes that I saw. The entire show, and hilarious from start to finish. We have kind of Karl going to Point Barrow, which is so funny. His remarks, this and Route 66 are the most epic to me. Large scale, out there stuff that happens to Karl, and I think the most extreme as well, and the kind of climate. Obviously, this one being, of course, and just as well the characters, the individuals he meets throughout the episode make this so great. Of course, the guy that meets Karl, quite early on, and they're trekking through the snow, obviously, and carrying stuff, and with the skis, that was just one of the funniest moments. Of course, when he's saying to Karl, "You're okay," and then Karl says at one point, "You're using a lot of my breath up, and to just kind of stop doing this." And the guy, kind of says, "Okay," and then immediately afterwards says, "Are you okay again?" And Karl just shouts, "Yeah," and it's just so funny. And the guy, laughing hysterically at Karl, and just gotta say, nutter about the guy, and it's just all of these moments throughout. We have as well the kind of eating whale, and then in the end, the actual whale watching itself. And by that point, Karl is just completely out of it, and he doesn't really care about this. So it's quite ironic, and it's kind of really fitting. It kind of sums up the show. How the show began is this, Karl not really the main, kind of draw of the episodes are not really Karl actually seeing the wonders and all this from series 1 and etc. and the bucket list stuff. It's more just, seeing Karl, his interactions, his viewpoints, and just enjoying Karl in the episode. And in the end, of course, the whale watching was not really the highlights, you could say, of the episode. Everything else around it was, and I think it's just really hilarious. The boats there, when they're on the boat, and Karl, kind of feeling obviously so ill, and just seeing this, it's just what a way to end it on. And just until this, though, we've got some of the funniest moments. Probably for me, the funniest sequence in the entire series is the Huskies, and Karl riding, of course, for the Huskies. Wow, it really is the funniest moment in the entire series for me. And just when Woodrow is the kind of leader of the Huskies, and Karl was told this, and the kind of the instructions to kind of slow it down and all this, and nothing goes right, and it all kind of goes wrong for Karl, and he shouts at one point, Woodrow, and because that's the leader, and that is what Karl's latched onto, of course, and as if he would say this and that would everything be okay. Of course not. Woodrow and all the rest of the Huskies keep going, and he just can't stop this. And of course, at one point, he calls them, it calls the Huskies, swearing at them different names, and it's just so bizarre, and just laugh out loud moments, of course. And I think just when he says as well, how many hours are we doing? It's just what a sequence this is. Just seeing Karl about on the ice, and it's just every single thing that Karl says here. The reactions, the kind of anger in Karl's face, and just the whole charm of the episode as well. It's just from start to finish absolutely hilarious. All the one-liners, of course, and Karl remarking about there's no point in seeing this in HD, because of just the constant ice and snow. It's just what an episode this is, and I think just from start to finish, the most special, memorable for me, iconic, and just hilarious episode, just in my opinion, of course. And the ending and the beginning, everything in between. What can I say? Episode 4, whale watching, is just hilarious, and it really is my personal favourite episode of the entire series. So yes, that's my ranking, and that's my thoughts on this series. What do you think? It'd be really great to hear your ranking as well. If you can do that, it'd be great, and it'd be really nice to compare and to hear, your opinion on this, and how did you first watch this, and how would you your reasoning for, kind of how would you rank the different episodes, and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, it'd be great to hear your thoughts on this series, all things Karl Pilkington, of course, in the comments. And next up will be Series 3. Already started rewatching that, on Blu-ray, and going through that. So that'll be up next as well, and we'll be reviewing that and ranking once again the episodes. Even though there are, much less episodes than these, these previous two seasons, Series 1 and 2. I will be still ranking that, series, and that'll be really interesting to talk about, because it is very, very different to Series 1 and 2. Another reminder as well, we'll be going through, as I've said previously, The Moaning of Life as well. After Series 3 of An Idiot Abroad, I'll be going through The Moaning of Life, Series 1 and 2. And, at some point I will be going through, talking about Sick of It as well, if I can, see that at some point. And that'd be great, because I haven't actually seen that before. And but yeah, all 5 series of, Karl Pilkington's main stuff, Idiot Abroad Series 1 through 3, and The Moaning of Life will be eventually ranked on the channel, and obviously I will be going through The Moaning of Life, and once again trying to rank the episodes, so obviously there will be as well, the big ranking of all the episodes of Karl's stuff, all these, Idiot Abroad and Moaning of Life, and obviously as well the actual series themselves, all 5 of them will be ranked as well in a separate video, so that's just a heads up for content, future content on the channel related to Karl. And once again, will be great, a pleasure to discuss Karl Pilkington in the channel, in the comments, and all things Karl. So yes, looking forward massively to that, and talking about this series, of course. What do you think? It'd be really great to hear, as always. And yes, just discuss Karl Pilkington, of course. So yes, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.